What's going on, y'all? Welcome to episode 5 of the Independent Threads podcast. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're headed down to Burdeens Chicago to go support the homie on the timeline, Diesel, and check out his hat drop that's happening today. So, I'm going to head on down now. We're going to talk to some folks, and maybe we'll see some of y'all out there.
What's going on, y'all? Finally made it down to Burdeens Chicago. Got the boy Diesel. Got the hat drop today, and we're gonna just learn about this hat culture. For those of us that don't know, like myself, I ain't really into it like that. Do I wear hats? Of course, but the way this man is doing it is different. So appreciate you being on today.
Appreciate you having me this morning, brother.
Now, the hat, you got the Cubs and the Sox.
Yes.
But why the choice of materials?
Basically, these two hats are in homage to Hugh Hefner himself. Hugh Hefner actually from Chicago. A lot of people might not know that. And of course, if you didn't know, my name is Brim Hef, and it kind of played along with my moniker in this hat community. The choice of materials was, of course, based around his robe that he usually wears,
The smoking jacket.
So the choice of colors, of course, kind of mimicked that, and just went with that thing with the hats.
All right. And so why are you releasing it here at Burden today?
Well, the concept actually came to me through the proprietor of Burdeens, brother by the name of Jerry. Shout out Jerry. Shout out Rolly, his brother. Love them to death, like family. They came across the concept and brought it to me, so we kind of just put it together. I've been shopping here at Burdeens for maybe the past 4 or 5 years, so it kind of made sense. Wanted to do it in my hometown, Chicago, so we just went with that.
All right. Now, for those of us that aren't into the hat culture, how can we spot somebody who's deep in the game?
Well, if you don't know, but you kind of will get an idea of what kind of headdress that they are wearing.
Okay.
Of course, you're always going to have your regular, everyday hats to wear, but 9 times out of 10, a person that's within the culture, like myself, they're going to have on a certain kind of looking hat. It's going to be kind of standoutish. Also, you might be able to identify them by some of the accessories they might put on the hat. Just like, for instance, my hats, mine will come with a pin. And if you see somebody probably rocking a pin on their hats, it's kind of advertising a creator and usually the store of the hat. So, 9 times out of 10, you will recognize them in that manner. If you, of course, have interest in it, you might want to spark up a conversation, ask them a few questions as far as where they might cure their hats from, because you can't really find custom hats in just the regular everyday store. Pertaining to like lids and other hat shops.
Right.
There's various sites, websites that you can go on, and you will find a vast amount of custom. So just sparking up a conversation with a person that's, you can identify with their hats. One thing that's said in this culture is speak with your hat. So usually, the person that's in the culture, they're speaking with their hat.
Got you. Now, for some of the novices out there, you talking about pins on the hat. What about them stickers? We leaving them on, taking them off?
I tend to do kind of both. I don't leave my stickers on the top visors or the bottoms. but I will take the sticker and put it in the inside of the hat.
Okay.
Just for keepsakes. I think it's tacky, to each his own, but I think it's tacky for people to put all these stickers all over the place. So
Yeah.
I just tend to leave them in the inside of the hat. But yeah, I don't wear stickers.
All right.
I'll do the stickers.
Now, you were showing off the pins. This isn't your first hat that you've released, you've designed.
No.
So talk to us about some of these other ones.
The first two hats I actually designed came about, I want to say, summertime of maybe 2022. Actual hat designer that came to me via Twitter and asked me would it be interested in doing a hat design, and it was my first time, so kind of taken aback. And I said, okay, sure, let's go with it. And of course, he said, well, anything that you can think of inspiring at the time, shoot me an idea. And it just so happened that, of course, I'm into shoes as well. Big part of my hobby, I should say. The Jordan Desert 3s had just recently released. So, kind of being called, or they get the nickname Grown Man 3s at the time. So, of course, I owned a pair, and I just said maybe I'll just draw my inspiration from those. I like the color blocking of the shoes, so I was able to kind of easily put those color blockings to hats as well, and that's what my first two projects were. Shout out Crown Minded, shout out my man Osprey. He actually came to me with the idea of even creating, so without him I wouldn't even be here to this day. I want to give him big respect. Shout out to that brother. But yes, it's my first Cubs with Crown Minded. And I did a socks in the reverse with the same color. Yeah. Shout out Crown Minders once again, giving me my first opportunity to make hats. So those are my first two hats. I believe they're still available in some sizes. You can check out the website, crownminded.com. You should be able to easily find them there, be able to make that purchase as well.
All right. Now, you're talking about shoes.
Yes.
I see you got the newest Armaniers on.
Yeah, I kind of had to, kind of special occasion today, so I wanted to put them on, Been loving these since I first saw images, so it's kind of no-brainer.
All right, now what's the bigger addiction, the shoes or the hats?
I'd have to say they went both hand in hand. I actually got away from shoes a little bit, maybe towards the end of 2021. Thinking of getting back into hats a little bit more would kind of slow me down from shoes. And it did to a certain degree, but not really. Okay. So I'd say it's right now 50-50 addiction. They're going hand in hand right now. I need to cut out both, to be honest with you guys, but it's kind of hard. I've been doing this for a long time, so it is what it is.
But you look, nobody likes a quitter. Okay, so you have to stick with it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
All right. And before we get out of here, how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram, at Brim_Hef. You can find me on Twitter at DZ148, I believe. That's my handle. Don't hold that against me. But if you just type in DZ, more than likely you'll find me. That's where I'm at on social media.
All right, we'll drop the ads in the comments down below, but appreciate you coming out.
I appreciate you, brother.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all watching. Make sure to like, subscribe. I can't grow this channel if y'all don't do it. So, till we meet again. So we've got a special guest here. We've got Jerry for Burdeens Chicago, who's joining us. So thank you for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for those who are not familiar with Burdeens, where are you located?
So Burdeens is located in the heart of Chicago neighborhood. We're kind of sandwiched in between Pilsen and Little Village, but the exact address is 2139 West Cermak Road.
All right. Now, when Diesel posted the promo video for his hat drop today, I got a lot of comments on there, and I noticed that Burdeens has been around for a minute.
It has,
and it hasn't always been a hat store, has it?
It has now. We've carried hats for a while, but it wasn't originally a hat store. So the history of this retail storefront goes back over 100 years. Right?
Really?
Absolutely, yeah. So,
that's great.
As far as we've been able to document over those 100 years, it's probably been about 4 to 5 owners.
Okay.
The most recent one prior to us is a gentleman by the name of Frank. Okay. Frank owned the store. He kind of started converting to more of an athletic store in the 70s, opened up Nike, Fila, Adidas, all the major brands. So it was definitely a sneaker shop.
Okay.
All through the 90s and early 2000s. And then, as you might be aware, Nike started closing down some of the independents.
Yeah.
And so he lost his contract. And, we worked with Frank throughout the 90s and early 2000s, throughout high school and college. So when he was ready to retire, he reached out and then, saw we were interested and we're like, yeah, let's go. So anyway, fast forward to 2020, we take over, the shoe market. There's no more Nike for us, but we had to be a New Era account. So we kind of pivoted.
Okay.
Switched our focus to hats and, here we are, kind of continuing the legacy a little bit. So.
All right. Fantastic. And so what are some of the more unique things that you guys do here? Like these drops, do you host events often?
Yeah, so obviously collabing with people in the community is not something new. Stores were doing it before us, but probably one of the first stores in Chicago that started to really hit the market.
Okay.
When the hats started kind of expanding a little bit in 2020. Yeah. It was a little kind of like boom, right? Where all of a sudden people were making the hat part of their outfit. Trying to match with their sneakers or just the daily hat, and so. Sure. Before we knew it, there was this market and, working with the community for new ideas, and kind of not only to kind of help promote us, but also the people we work with and whatever brands they may be working with, right? So there's a lot of pin creators, pins and hats have, for a few years now kind of gone together.
Yep.
And so, we try to work with guys who, where it's beneficial for both of us, right? To kind of get exposure on both sides, us with them and them with us.
All right. And last thing, where can we find you on socials?
Social media. So, as you mentioned, we are on Twitter as Burdeens Shoes, which was the previous name.
Okay.
So you can find us there, and I'll work on getting that updated. And then on Facebook and so on Instagram, we are Burdeens Chicago.
Burdeens Chicago. Yeah. Perfect.
Yep.
Well, if you guys are looking for that crown piece to complete the outfit, you know where to come.
Yes.
Appreciate having you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Like.